Hello students. So today we have the question that is we have with us is why are chemical pesticides not considered good for environment? So in this question we need to particularly talk about the pesticide and in even in pesticide we need to talk about the chemical pesticides as you can say. Like we have a lot of different pesticides but here we need to talk about chemical pesticides or in journal term we can say artificial pesticides as well. The reason is because the humans are actually involved in the creation of these pesticides. Okay, so here if we talk about the point, so what I can say is first of all, since it involves the chemicals, obviously anything which is artificial for the environment which ends up to the what you can say damaging the environment. So, okay, so considering the fact we can say that all pesticides are toxic to man and the domestic animal, and the reason is again as I said these have artificial chemicals in it which is not supposed to be there. As I said, the nature requires the natural things, they don't require the artificial things or the chemical which are made up of humans. So that is why it is toxic to almost every living organism. Now, what is the reason? Like why they are not considered good for environments? So the key reason behind the like chemical pesticides considering them as a harmful to the environment is that they have a non-target organism impact. Now, what does that mean? That mean like as you can see, it's not like you are targeting a man or you are targeting an animal like that. Anything, any living organism which are able to consume the what you can say that crop are able to get the toxicity of these chemicals. So that is what we can say is a non-target organism impact. Like you are giving the this pesticide for a certain insect or for a certain reason, but that insect will be killed, but then the chemicals will remain in the soil or will remain in the plant, which can actually consumed by the animal or consumed by the humans and ends up leading to their body and cause the toxicity. The second point, as you can see here, is water contamination. Now, how come water contamination is there? It's something you can say that you have given the pesticide to the soil, okay, or to the plants. Now it will enter into the soil. Now the water will comes up and the pesticides that are there in the soil, or you can say the chemicals that are in the soil, will simply transport to water. Like the soil sometimes because there is so much of rain can go into the water, or like water body which is nearby, or even settles down into the groundwater as well. So all of these reasons can lead to the water contamination as well. Apart from that, we can say soil contamination, so that also you understand like how the soil is actually contaminated by the pesticides, the chemical pesticides particular. There is a biodiversity loss. Now why there is a biodiversity loss and what does that mean? So when we say it is toxic, no, so toxic means we are saying that it has harmful chemicals which are affecting and domestic animals as well. So this is one half of the biodiversity. But biodiversity not only includes the animals, it also includes the plant. So the biodiversity loss can directly be say, you can say like the if the soil is contaminated, if the water is contaminated, so at the end the plants and the animals which are living nearby will also getting the effects of it. Okay, so that is how you're getting the biodiversity loss. Like the insects also, which are supposed to be there, which are supposed to help in pollination or something like that, are also getting affected. The persistence in the environment. So the another problem with such chemicals is since they are artificial, so it takes a lot of time to actually recycle them by the natural way, I can say. Okay, because when we are making compounds, we are making a very big compounds because we have the certain purpose behind it. And nature has a different way of utilizing it, and that is why it remains in the environment for a longer period of time. And sometimes what happen is if you keep giving a lot of we can say these pesticides, this particular chemical pesticides, so the crops will develop the resistance, or let's say the insects will also be able to develop the resistance because once they know. So these are living organisms which can also have the adaptation property, or can say this characteristic feature with them which allows to have the resistance. So that is also there. So this is another problem that we can face through the chemical pesticides, and these all are reasons why we consider like the pesticides as a as considered not good for environment. Like using them very excessively and indiscriminate is very hazardous, and one has to make sure that it has to be used carefully and in a limited amount. So that will give you the best output and also remove the unnecessary effects of these chemical pesticides. Because at the end you have to use the pesticides, but you have to make sure how you are using it and utilizing the pesticides. I hope this will help you. Thank you.